Welcome back. While we were away, the caution came out. Brendan Newberry got into the wall and brought out the caution. So we're about ready to restart with just 17 laps to go. Ryan Gifford in front of Brett Moffitt, running in the second spot. Problems for Gifford on the restart. As the green flag comes out, Gifford doesn't get up to speed. Brett Moffitt takes the lead. Darrell Wallace Jr. behind him.
But the big stories, look at all the drivers that are trying to get by. Max Gresham in that 18 car, he falls back to third, finally gets going here.
So Brett Moffitt in front. Gifford was hoping to be the sixth different winner this season, and it looks like problems for the two is going to relegate him back in the field.
Yeah, it looks like he spun the tires as Brandon McReynolds in the 42 almost gets into him. They really stack up behind these guys.
3 wide as they come out of turn number 4 across the stripe. Take another look at what happened with Gifford.
He just did not get going. Looks like he spun the tires. Max Gresham gets into him, stacks that whole inside lineup.
What a close call for championship leader Max Gresham, who was in the 18 behind Gifford, able to slide to the inside and clear Ryan Gifford on that restart. Back to green flag racing. Gifford, with just 15 laps to go, has dropped back. Still in the top 10, but struggles to stay up there.
Yeah, he's got back going. I think what happened when he got up the racetrack, he got a lot of rubber on his tires, had to get them cleaned off.
Didn't get it cleaned off enough as we see Cody Hodgson in the 0-3 in front of Brandon McReynolds. To the inside, here comes that 62 of Andrew Smith. It's a battle for the 11th spot. Just behind Brandon McReynolds, the 66 of Benny Gordon. Here's Brett Moffitt out in front. That means with Max Gresham running in the 3rd spot, only 6 points separate the top 2 in the championship. Gresham still with a 6-point lead.
Moffitt is doing everything he can do here. He's leading the race. He needs a couple more drivers to get by Max Gresham.
And last week he did the exact same thing. He got out front, led the most laps, got the most points you could possibly get in trying to win a 3rd championship in a row for Michael Waltrip Racing.
But just think about it. He has been into the wall. He has been on pit road. His crew made repairs to this 00 car. Here he is leading the race with less than 15 laps to go.
And the Grimes, Iowa native is going to need some help because he's going to do all that he can, but with Max Gresham running in the position he's running in now, he still won't be able to win this championship because Gresham is still 6 points in front of Brett Moffitt in this championship. Dale Quarterly just behind that 18 of Gresham. If Quarterly would get by, it'd be a 1-point difference in this championship.
And right now, just looking at the scoring monitor, Brett Moffitt is just pulling away from the field.
Brett Moffitt setting a blazing speed right now as he continues to check out on the field. All he wants to do, get out front, lead as many laps as he can, but most importantly, lead the last lap, win this race.
And for Darrell Quarterly, it's a personal goal here. Had to start at the rear of the field in that 32 car because of an engine change. Would love to get another spot on the racetrack.
This is the battle for 3rd. Max Gresham has it. Dale Quarterly trying to take it away. There you saw the gap between your race leader, Brett Moffitt, and this battle for the 3rd spot.
You know what I've noticed here the last lap or two, though? Darrell Wallace in that 6 is starting to reel in Brett Moffitt in that 00 up front.
So Darrell Wallace Jr. would love to get to victory lane one more time this season. He's been there twice. He won earlier at Richmond as well as Columbus. And now wanting to make that 3 wins on the season, but he's got to catch that 00 as the battle for 3rd continues. Max Gresham, Dale Quarterly, nose to tail.
He cannot shake Darrell Quarterly in that 32 car. Darrell Quarterly's car is just a little bit better going through the middle of the corner. I almost wonder, is there a little bit of damage on that 18 car from that last restart?
Again, got into the back of the 2 of Ryan Gifford on the restart. Doesn't look like there's any damage to the front of that race car, but you never know the handling of that 18 of Max Gresham and a championship on the line. What's going through that young man's mind right now?
You know, one reason he's the championship leader, Rick, he has completed every lap of competition so far in 2011.
Very consistent has Max Gresham been. But Dale Quarterly trying to take that spot away. Again, if Quarterly gets by, it would be a 1-point difference between Gresham and Brett Moffitt. Gresham would still have that 1-point advantage even if Dale Quarterly does get by, but it doesn't look like Gresham wants to give up any positions right now on this racetrack.
In Gresham, he really truly don't need to worry about these 2 guys at the front, Brett Moffitt and Darrell Wallace Jr. Just worry about staying where you're at because we don't have that many laps to go.
Hold your position inside the final 10 laps of racing here from Dover International Speedway, the final race of the 2011 season.
I don't like what I saw right there. I saw Sparks come out from underneath that 00 car, and he was up the racetrack a little bit.
Inside of 5 to go. Brett Moffitt in the 00 out in front, trying to win this race, trying to close the gap on the championship.
And he is definitely, Darrell Wallace Jr. is closing the gap on that 00 car. Darrell Wallace so much, he knows probably not the championship, but I can win this race.
A great way to end the season with just 4 laps of racing to go. Brett Moffitt in front of that 6 that has been damaged. There's smoke again behind the 00.
There's his Sparks.
Up the racetrack he goes. Brett Moffitt, your race leader, into the wall.
That right front tire had been going down on him the last 2 or 3 laps, and his championship season hopes will come to an end.
The 8th caution of the day, and this time it's race leader and title contender Brett Moffitt who gets into the wall, and he will have to come to pit road now and relinquish the top spot. Take another look.
Yeah, we saw the Sparks a couple laps before, right in the middle of the corner, and it's the worst place that you can lose a right front tire. You can see the car just goes straight. It will not turn.
Dashing the hopes of the 00, Brett Moffitt, the hard left turn into the garage here at Dover International Speedway. We'll be back for the conclusion of this one here on Speed. A disappointing conclusion to the 2011 season. Brett Moffitt climbs out of his race car after leading. The right front tire blows and he hits the wall. Green-white checker. Darrell Wallace Jr. on the outside. Gresham on the inside.
But Dylan Presnell in the 14 car on the outside didn't get going. Look at him, 4 and 5 wide behind him, but Darrell Wallace will take the lead going off into turn 1.
All bunched up behind the top 3. Darrell Wallace Jr. out in front of Max Gresham. Dale Quarterly running in the 3rd spot. Now Gresham just has to go 2 more laps before he claims his first championship in the K&N Pro Series. Little bump there out of Quarterly. Quarterly's going to take 2nd away from Gresham.
Quarterly will not give up. Started this race at the rear of the field. Max Gresham don't need to worry about the battle because he's going to win the war.
He's going to win the war as Eddie McDonald comes up on his back bumper. Darrell Wallace Jr., though, wants to get another win in the 2011 season. Working his way through 3 and 4. It's going to be Darrell Wallace Jr. A dominant performance today after damage to that race car goes to victory lane.
Won everything you could win here. Both practice sessions, the pole, and now wins the race.
And in dramatic fashion, Max Gresham will win the championship. But the celebration will go to the Army, number 6 of Darrell Wallace Jr., getting his 3rd win of the season. The disappointment, though, would have to lie with Brett Moffitt. And Brett Moffitt standing by with Derek Perniciglio.
It was a bittersweet day today for Brett Moffitt. He won 2 races here at Dover in the past, but today not going to happen. How tough is it to be able to take this day?
You know, it's definitely hard on us. It's kind of the story of our season, though. We're the dominant car again today. Didn't start the race off the dominant car, but we adjusted on it and got us there. I got us into the fence there a few laps into it, and we battled back through that. And, man, it just stinks that we didn't last the whole race and were able to win.
You don't see this very often. 2 drivers able to celebrate at the end of a race. One wins the race, the other the championship. We'll hear from both next. Welcome back to Dover International Speedway. The Dover 150 is in the books. Darrell Wallace Jr., your race winner, your champion Max Gresham. First, let's hear from Darrell Wallace Jr. He's with Derek.
Darrell Wallace Jr. in the U.S. Army, number 6, picks up his 3rd win of the 2011 season. As he signals the photographers, the soda starts flying. Darrell, 3 wins this year. The car was fast all day long.
Yeah, God, I don't even know what to say. I've been bawling my eyes out ever since I crossed the line, tears of joy. I just want to thank God, first of all, for keeping me safe. Me and Sergio, we got into it when he blew a motor, didn't know which way he was going to go, didn't know which way I was going to go. We ended up colliding, but, you know, it's just racing, and, man, I don't know what to say. I mean, my uncle passed away this past Saturday, and it's, I decided, you know, during practice I'd make a homemade, you know, memorial sticker for him and put it on there, and he's riding shotgun with us, and during the race I talked to him, and this is where he put me. So thanks, Uncle Danny. I love you and miss you, but, man, we won at the Monster Mile. We finally get the Monster.
they get the monster off their back. Take a look at the unofficial results. Darrell Wallace Jr., an emotional win for that young man. Dale Quarterly, an impressive run, finishing second.
Yeah, after starting at the rear of the field, and Darrell Wallace Jr. actually moved to second in points with that win.
Max Gresham ended up third in this one, but the championship is his. Let's hear from him. He's with Derek.
Well, Max Gresham finishes in the top 5 today, picks up his first ever NASCAR K&N Pro Series championship. The water, the Gatorade, everything starts to fly, and Max Gresham can come out of the car and be called a champion.
Oh man, you know, I've been waiting for this all year. It's been it's taken way too long to get here, but you know, I can't thank these Joe Gibbs Racing team enough. They put this awesome car underneath me, and oh man, well, it's finally great to be a champion, and you know, what better series to do it in than K&N Pro Series East.
Was it a nerve-wracking day for you? We saw you get behind a little bit. We saw the crew start to get a little bit nervous, but how calm were you behind the wheel?
You know, I didn't start to get nervous until the last 20 laps because anything can happen, but as soon as I saw Moffitt blow the tire, I was like, okay, now we can just ride and finish this race. But man, it's just been one heck of a day, and you know, like I said, I can't thank these guys enough, and this car was just great today, and God, it feels so great to be here.
We saw just behind Max Gresham, NASCAR president Mike Helton coming into the picture. He'll be handing out the hardware. 66 points the difference between Darrell Wallace Jr., who moved up to second, and Max Gresham.
And Max is not going to get the rest long because he's going to move on to Kansas next week and run the ARC race plus 3 truck races later on in the year.
Difficult ending for Brett Moffitt's season as he climbed out of his race car before the checkered flag flew. It was Darrell Wallace Jr. that grabs the win, but Max Gresham gets the championship in the K&N Pro Series East. For Derek Bernasiglio, Larry McReynolds, I'm Rick Allen saying thanks for joining us here on Speed.